Autumn's starting to feel distinctly wintry, and like any prudent smallholder, I'm gearing up for the short, unproductive days ahead. My pumpkins will give me a meal or three, and having just slaughtered my Dexter steer and my mutton wether, I've got meat coming out of my ears. But in two vital areas I'm desperately short. After the catastrophic failure of my hay harvest, I'm in dire need of some extra winter fodder for the remaining animals. I've also only got a few logs left, so unless I'm going to develop a taste for raw meat over the winter, I need to get a load of fuel in as well. But first, Marge has got a date with the man with the scan, her bovine gynaecologist.
Let's hope it's good news.
Will she go a little bit further?
A little bit further over here.
Can you just watch those horns don't go through the screen?
Yeah. Her original partner, Dexter Stud Knotting Regulus, failed to do the business, so I had to call on the services of the artificial inseminator. Bob Mallet has come back to see if his file of pedigree Dexter sperm has hit the spot.
I think she is. I think she's pregnant.
You do?
I do.
Fantastic news. Look, Marge. Forward a bit. Come on. Come on, there you go. Have a look. It's all happening there. What makes you fairly confident?
Well, it would be all grey and white if she wasn't pregnant.
But
there's some black areas there. That's fluid. If she's pregnant, there'll be fluid there which will have the calf in it. That there, right in the middle of the picture, can you see that?
Yeah,
because
I can see that black patch.
Yeah.
There?
Yeah, that would indicate to me that she's actually in calf.
Fantastic.
But I think I've seen
Great news, a beef steer for the year after next.
Oh, there we go. Well done, that girl. She looks pregnant, doesn't she?
She looks very pregnant, actually.
So, does she need any special maternal care?
Not really, no.
Just good lot of feed and...
Just a normal healthy diet, no?
Cup of cocoa in the evening, let her put her feet up in front of the TV. Don't make her do too much washing up, all the usual.
That's all the usual things.
But it does mean Marge will be eating for two, which makes the winter feed problem all the more urgent. Though not so urgent that I've lost sight of my personal needs for those long, cold nights.
One of the real joys of life at River Cottage is that I keep making discoveries of free ingredients growing absolutely wild. My latest find is particularly exciting with the winter months drawing in, but getting hold of it is going to mean a little bit of a climb.
It's a stray hop plant scrambling up a young elm tree. The flowers, of course, are the essential flavouring for beer, but they all seem to be at the very top of this rather spindly tree. Ah! It's a precarious clamber. Back down to earth, I've got enough hops for a good-sized brew, provided I can get the chemistry right. I've never actually made my own beer before, but I managed to borrow this rather fancy customised home brew kit, which has been knocked up with an old laundry boiler. Apparently it's all very straightforward. I've got the instructions here, so here we go. This cloudy liquor is the product of 8 kilos of cracked barley malt, begged from the local brewery, which has been steeped for an hour and a half in 30 litres of water at 65 degrees centigrade. The soaked malt is then sparged, sprinkled with near boiling water to flush out the last vestiges of flavour. My homegrown hops, which have been dried out in a low oven, are then added to produce what's known as the wort. After boiling for an hour, it'll be decanted into a dustbin, yeast will be added, and the magical process of fermentation will begin. With a large supply of homebrew on the way, I'm off to see a man about a hedge. My easterly view has been all but blotted out, as the hedge behind the cottage has been allowed to run rampant for too long. Some attention now would certainly help add to my woodpile. So Master Woodsman Nigel Dowding and his daughter Sharon are here to sort it out.
Tell me what you think needs doing here to bring it back into line.
Well, to be honest, I suggest that we lay it, and then it will let light into your cottage. It'll also stop a lot of damp from getting into your cottage.
It's going to stop damp, is it? Because it is a bit damp in the cottage, and not for 1 minute did I think that these trees were to blame. But if you can sort out my damp problem, my light problem, and my firewood problem all in one day, then I'll be a happy man.
I can't promise all that, but certainly try.
I'm bracing myself for a little light pruning, but Sharon seems to think something more heavy duty is in order.
Gosh, spanking new pair of gloves for me.
Yes. Yeah, they've got to look like this when you've finished.
And then Nigel lets rip with his chainsaw. What looks to me like wholesale deforestation is apparently the gentle art of hedge laying.
Sharon, give me a hand to pull this one down, please.
While most of the branches are removed completely, the best ones are cut almost all the way through and then laid down flat.
Quite dramatic.
All that connects the branch to the root is a thin sliver of wood and bark.
What you've done there, to me, Nigel, that looks lethal.
Yeah,
But
no,
you're
it's
saying
not.
that that's going to stay a living piece of wood?
That will live, yes. That will live.
The theory is that the laid branches continue to produce new growth, creating a natural living barrier.
Right.
Okay, you start the pull.
Ready for a bit of a pull?
Yep.
It's friendly to wildlife and ultimately easier on the eye than barbed wire or post fencing, but right now it looks pretty alarming.
Fine.
And then this one
Then push that one in.
right in there.
Yep.
To make the hedge as solid as possible, all the little branches are pushed back, under and in.
Under there.
Yeah.
It's like basket weaving on a grand scale. We've agreed a fee of half a lamb for the job, but it's a lot more work than I imagined, so it seems only fair to throw in a little tea as part of the deal.
Well, this hedge laying business is very hungry work. So I wanted to do something rich, satisfying and nourishing, but also seasonal and pretty simple and straightforward. For some reason, a lot of people seem to be rather daunted by pumpkins and squashes in the kitchen. So this is a recipe that really couldn't be simpler, and it certainly couldn't be tastier.
Once the seeds have been scooped out, the pumpkins are filled with a generous handful of grated Gruyere cheese, then seasoned with plenty of black pepper, some freshly grated nutmeg, and a good pinch of salt. The cavities are then filled up with double cream to within an inch from the top. The lids go back on, and these self-contained soup dishes are baked in a hot oven for 45 minutes. Outside, Nigel and Sharon have almost finished. There's just one tree left to lay.
Yep. Are you ready for this?
I don't know. How's it going? Is it all right? It's not going to split?
No. That's fine. That'll go over there.
Where's it going in?
Yeah, try and tuck the top in.
I tuck it under there?
Yep. That's it.
It's quite a shock. Lost a little bit of privacy. I feel like I've had a very severe haircut. You know, I want to ask the barber,
That's right.
will it grow back?
But it's like, that's right, like hair.
It will grow back.
It will. Definitely.
Please tell me it'll grow back.
It will, definitely.
Still reeling from my crew cut, I bring out the pumpkins.
I hope you're hungry.
Ooh.
Oh, beautiful.
Goodness. So how come yours is so tiny?
Well, because I had 3 different sizes and I just thought it would be polite to have the smallest one.
Lovely.
But tell me, Nigel, as you drive about the country, do you feel a real urge to sort of discipline and tie in wood when it gets a little bit out of control?
Well, yeah, it's always a great satisfaction when you've finished to see, you know, what you can do with a derelict hedge.
And a pretty good stack of firewood there.
My firewood problem is pretty much sorted and the cottage is bathed in a new light. But I still have to do something about my severe lack of winter feed. Somehow I've got to lay my hands on 90 bales to keep the animals going through the winter.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. And for the sake of a dozen bales of hay, I'm about to do something exceedingly rash. And if things go really bad, this lemon verbena could just get me out of a tight spot.
I'm off for a day's hunting, or more accurately, a day's being hunted. The West Country bloodhounds are meeting up the road, and in return for my services as the quarry, I'll be getting a dozen bales of hay from the masters of the hunt, Nigel and Catherine Pike.
So I should sort of head off at a gentle jogging pace, or?
A gentle jogging pace. We will give you 20 minutes to half an hour head start.
Right.
And then we'll put the hounds on your scent.
Right.
They know it's you they're looking for, so you can't hide anywhere.
Right. And am I going to get acquainted with them before?
Yep,
So
we can take you in there now to introduce you so they've got a good idea of who they're going to be looking for.
Hello, boys and girls. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Hold up. Hold up.
Hold up now.
Hold up.
Hello.
Hold up.
Smell me.
Hold up.
I'm Hugh.
Down a bit.
Having acquainted the hounds with my unmistakable scent, I make the most of my head start, while the hunters, who come in all shapes and sizes, assemble for a swift drink at the local. I'm out on my own, armed only with my lemon verbena and a bag of sausages. I'm expected to stay ahead for as long as possible, but I haven't exactly been training for this. They're too close for comfort. Time to deploy the herbal distraction. The pungent aroma of the lemon verbena should mask my scent. It seems to be working, but not for long. I've had it. I've got no choice. Luckily, these hounds prefer the taste of sausages to human flesh.
Thank you very much for a lovely day, Hugh. The hounds have hunted you well. Very kind of you.
Don't forget my bales, will you?
Oh, your bells, hey, no problem at all, sir. How tired are you?
Totally, completely exhausted. Oh.
Even for the sake of my flock, I can't go through that every week. There's only one thing to do. I'm going to throw a party. After all, the fatted calf is in the cold store and my beer is coming to a head. And instead of bring a bottle, I'll ask everyone to bring a bale. Brilliant. A party where the guests bring a bale instead of a bottle should certainly help to see my livestock through the winter. But a trip to the seaside could also do them a power of good. They don't actually get to go, of course. I do.
It would be foolish to ignore a source of completely free food. And while seaweed isn't something you can feed neat to the animals, it's got a lot of goodness in it. And if you hang it up and dry it and shred it, and mix it in with their normal feed, it can save you a lot of money on expensive salt licks. Best of all is this kelp, extremely rich in iodine, other nutrients and natural sugars. And it's also got this rather handy stalk, so you can hang it up and dry it very easily.
With appropriate dietary supplements for my livestock in the bag, it's time to sort out the sustenance for my party guests.
For me, this home-reared meat is one of the tremendous treats of life at River Cottage. What I've got here is a boned-out leg from my mutton wether. And I'm getting twice as much meat as I would expect to get off an ordinary spring lamb. And hopefully twice as much flavour too. I'm going to cook something pretty close to what in Morocco would be called a tagine, which is a slow-cooked meat dish, usually containing a little bit of fruit and quite a lot of spice. The fruit element is going to come from these Hunza apricots. The spice is going to come mainly from cinnamon and also a blend of cumin, coriander and ground ginger.
The mutton is quickly browned in a hot pan and goes into the stew pot with a couple of sliced onions and a litre of lamb stock. The juice from the soaked apricots goes in now, but the fruit will be added just half an hour before the end, so it doesn't get too mushy. Finally, the cinnamon sticks and the spices go in. I'm also going to add one slightly cheaty ingredient, a whole jar of my own homemade chutney, which already has the perfect blend of fruitiness, sweetness and spiciness that is so essential for the authentic tagine. It all gets a good stir, and the pot's left on the gentlest of simmers for 3 hours.
What do you think of the hedge?
Brilliant. Let there be light.
My old friend, freelance butcher Ray Smith, has been helping me carve up my steer, which has hung for a full 4 weeks for maximum flavour.
I had a touch of help.
He's brought some prime cuts over to cut into steaks for the party.
So I want to know, Ray, what an old hand like you thinks of my Dexter beef.
Brilliant.
Is it good stuff?
Yeah, I was really surprised because I've never butchered a Dexter myself before, and I was really surprised that the meat to bone ratio is so good.
So I just want nice sized steaks I can whack on a couple of minutes each side, put them in a bun, out we go.
Yeah.
Ray gets down to work preparing the steaks, and any leftovers go into a hamburger pile.
That's too good for the doggy.
In this scenario, I am the butcher's dog. I will have everything.
You will have everything. I know what you're like.
That'll go nicely for another batch of stock.
Yeah, brilliant. In the old days, the butcher's boy, the butcher would have sent him to make a cup of tea when he was doing that with a chopper, so the boy didn't learn too much. Too fast, yeah.
I'm wondering if I should possibly take that as a hint, Ray. Cup of tea? Coming right on.
I must say you learn very quickly.
By the time I get back with the tea, Ray has boned out the sirloin, and while he slices that into steaks, I'm already thinking about the sauce.
Got something quite special down here, Ray. A little bit of wild horseradish.
Really?
Yeah. I just hope it's got a good root on it. Ugh. Oh yes. Look at that.
Oh, brilliant. How about we eat that raw with this now?
A tempting offer, but we mustn't lose sight of our objective, to feed up to 100 hungry revellers in return for their bales.
This horseradish is sinus-rippingly strong stuff. But once it's combined with a few other choice ingredients, it's going to be really the best possible sauce for what I hope is going to be the most delicious beef.
Dilution depends on the strength of the individual root, but in this case about ½ kilo of grated horseradish needs a litre of creme fraiche and ½ litre of double cream to calm it down a bit. It's seasoned with plenty of salt and black pepper, and just a dash of balsamic vinegar to give it a little edge and sweetness. At this point, a little quality control seems in order, so Ray and I treat ourselves to a sneak preview of the Dexter beef.
I am ready.
You hear that sizzle, Ray?
I do.
That is the sound of succulence.
Yep. Oh, look at that.
How about a little bit of horseradish? A little bit on the side.
Lovely, yeah. Excellent.
For me.
That is just
Should be
amazing.
rare.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
And rare it certainly is.
Oh, that is pretty amazing. Oh.
Hardly needs cooking at all.
No, you could another 10 seconds that would have been ruined.
That was lucky. I mean, this hanging business does seem to make all the difference, doesn't it?
Oh, it is the difference.
I mean, the meat you're buying generally in the high street butcher and the supermarket now has been hung how long?
Well, they kill it on Monday and it's in the shop on Thursday and then cooked on Friday.
Really?
Oh, yeah, it's as quick as that. It hasn't been butchered properly.
Well, hopefully there'll be 100 odd people there tonight who will taste the difference.
Oh, I think they will,
great.
Yeah, I think
Thank you very much, Ray.
My pleasure. Brilliant.
Cheers.
I spend the afternoon banging out burgers, but soon the sun's down and the party's up and running. I've borrowed a magnificent barn from a neighbour, and the first steaks are sizzling on the barbie. My mushroom hunting friends Nick and Paddy are pitching in as short order chefs.
Okay, I've got some steaks ready.
Serenaded by the local bell ringers, my guests and their offerings of fodder begin to arrive.
Okay, some burgers coming up.
My poultry advisor, Richard Hicks, makes light work of his bale.
If there's room in the trailer, pop it in there, otherwise just by the side of the wall there. You're a good man, you're a good man.
Oh, that looks better stuff on top, Hugh. The finest.
That's top quality, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, Richard, we can give that to the vegetarian.
Beautiful stuff.
Hello, Joe. How are you?
Next up, it's my sheep trimmer, Joe Forsey.
That's not pure new wool. Are you hungry? My mutton weather. It's in the mutton tagine. It's very, very tasty.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm going to try.
Have a pot of that.
I will. I'd love one.
I'll fettle you a burger.
Oh, it sounds good.
Even my scallop diving mate Paul turns up with some wurzels.
And how have you been?
Good.
I hope you're hungry.
Starving.
Hi, Trish.
And I'm forever indebted to local artist Trish Wiley, who designed the labels for my deli venture.
Grab yourself a bun. Do you know we sold out of every single thing?
Oh, did you?
Everything. Every single thing on that store.
Fantastic.
I think it was the labels myself.
Inside the barn, local band Sundance get into their stride, old friendships are renewed, and new ones forged. The burgers are going down well, and so are the steaks.
This is intro.
Pretty soon the dancing begins.
1, 2, in we go.
Top caller Gordon Potts is putting us through our paces.
And out. Women. And men. And out. Swing. And promenade. Are you ready? In you go. Now. In, 2, 2. And out. And in you go. In. And out. Women go in. Men go in. Swing.
The following morning, I've got a hangover, almost as big as my new haystack.
I must admit I'm feeling a little bit ropey this morning, but it would be churlish to complain of a sore head in the face of such extraordinary generosity on the part of my neighbours. And with all these goodies in store, my animals should be eating almost as well as me this winter.
My seaweed supplement is drying well, and though there's still wood from the hedge to chop, the log pile's looking very healthy. And a polytunnel full of exotic winter salads should bring in a bit of cash through the winter. As my second year at River Cottage draws to a close, I'm sure of one thing. My time as a smallholder is far from over.
Wurzels, anybody?
You could take me out of River Cottage tomorrow, but you could never take River Cottage out of me.